सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Ganesh Gore, are you new to class?
Sorry, Mataji.
You're new to class, first time?
Yeah, first time. Yes.
Welcome to class. You know what we are doing here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You've come from YouTube.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a discourse on Bhagavad Gita class. Yes, if I'm not wrong.
It's on Vedanta through this book. Bhagavad
Very
Gita itself is on Sunday.
Okay.
You Mumbai based?
Yeah, I am from Navi Mumbai, Kharga.
Okay. Well, that's pretty far, but we are going to have offline Bhagavad Gita lectures at Juhu next week. You're quite far for that, yes. So anyway, so welcome to the class. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. We are currently on the topic of unselfishness, and we are doing the fourth result of unselfishness. The last time what we did was unselfishness gives us unending enthusiasm. When a person has taken up a project, even if that project be an impossible project, they are unendingly enthusiastic about it. Subodh Prasad Sharma, are you also new?
No, I am not new, ma'am. I am attending your class from last 3-4 months, ma'am.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good. I've never seen you, I think. Maybe I missed the name. So, yeah, so I'm glad you're here. So, we were doing unending enthusiasm. When a person is unselfish, he's very enthusiastic about things. Somehow there seems to be a lot of enthusiasm. Have you seen people, even people who go into war zones to go and help the people there, or they go and they, like, when you see the Sikhs, they go to do langar in all sorts of, horrible places. Langar, Wendy, I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of langar. Have you heard of langar before? No. So langar is a concept in Sikhism where they give food to people. So if you go to any Sikh Gurudwara, any of their temples, then you are just given, nobody asks you who you are or what you are. You will be given a free meal. Everybody sits down in the langar. The rich, the poor, everybody. It doesn't matter. It's not, some people say only poor people will get. No, they don't say that. Whether you're rich or poor, they are not interested. Everybody will get. So they do this all over. Sometimes in some area where there is some natural calamity or disaster, they carry the food there as well. They go, there floods or earthquake or something, they carry food. Now you find all these people who have gone out to do some kind of unselfish work, they're always very enthused about it. They're going through a very, very difficult thing. It's not easy, right? You're going into some earthquake or flood-ridden area. They lose all their conveniences, comforts, but there's so much enthusiasm about it. So the first quality, so the third one which we had done is when you are unselfish, you're very enthusiastic about things. You just become a very enthusiastic person generally. Then the last time what we started was how unselfishness makes you a problem solver. When you are very self-centered, you tend to go under the problem somehow. It's my problem and it's a lot of trouble to me, and then I go under it. But when I'm unselfish, if I have a noble goal to achieve, if I have something greater and vaster to do, obviously problems will come on every journey. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're good or bad, day and night is going to come to everybody. Summer and winter is going to come to everybody. But for an unselfish person, either they don't see any problems, they don't see why you are finding a problem there, or if there is a genuine problem, somehow they are able to solve that problem. How? Because the ideal is like a light for them. How to decide between X or Y, how to deal with this. They just go straight towards the ideal. And therefore, it's easy for them to decide between various things. You know, their ego won't come in the way. Their personal, whatever, ambitions don't come in the way. They're able to deal with the situation as it is and where it is. They are objective. They gain clarity because of the light that the ideal itself gives. Okay, so we did two reasons. One is they become more objective. They do whatever needs to be done. There's no fuss about it. Okay, what will happen to me and all, they won't waste their time. And secondly, it gives you a clarity. A very, very strange kind of clarity, which somehow, when one is selfish, self-centered, that clarity is denied to us. It's an incredible thing in life. You know, people, they do courses on how to think correctly and how to be more logical and this and that and how to be more rational. But they miss one. I'm not saying you shouldn't do those courses, but if you don't develop sattva, you can do every course in the world, you still not get that kind of clarity. Because eventually the quality of sattva is clarity. If you don't have sattva, where is clarity going to come from? So this is two. And then third one. Okay. We did that, right? We did that whether he fails or whether he succeeds, he's a clear person. Also, help comes from unexpected sources. This is the third thing that happens when you are doing something unselfishly. Suddenly, from somewhere, without knowing, not even expecting anything, help comes to you. Also, help comes from unexpected sources. One can see this in the biographies of noble people such as Vivekananda. Once where one is going is clear, the rest falls into place. It's only a question of time. As frequently said, find purpose, means will follow. I don't know. Have you all? Can you give me any examples of this throughout? You know, all the biographies of all the people will have this one thing that it had all gone very dark and they didn't know what to do, and they'd come to the end of it and they just praying to God, please help, and then something happened. It's a very common theme you will see. There was a saint over here who was a very noble and famous saint, and the story goes that he wanted to build a temple for Rama. And then he was so enthusiastic about it, he finished all the money. And the temple is not built. Sounds a bit like us, no? So temple is not built. Then he didn't know what to do. And then he took a loan from the Saukar or from the king or somebody. He took a loan. And tomorrow was the next day was supposed to be the last day to return the loan, or he would have to go to jail. And then the next day, he didn't know what to do. So he went to the king and he said, look, I'm so sorry. I couldn't come. I couldn't give it to you. I just don't have the money. And the king said, what are you talking about? Yesterday, the two brothers came and they said that you have sent the money and all the money they have got. And the story goes, of course, that Ram Lakshman had come and paid off that loan. The moral of the story is that you may believe Ram Lakshman came or you may not believe Ram Lakshman came. But the point is, somehow that loan got taken care of. We went and paid that loan. So all sorts of stories you will hear like this, where people have come and helped, and it is beyond expectations how this has happened. Even if you do the smallest thing in your own building, if you try this stunt, you will find it works. You start doing something, and you'll find other people coming and joining. You don't even have to tell anybody anything. You just start cleaning something, looking after some plants, whatever you want to serve. Just do it. And you will find people helping. You know, that goodness in human beings is really very strong. But it needs something to make it come out. The best thing to make it come out is knowledge. But everybody doesn't have access to knowledge. So the second good way of making it come out is by being a good example. You start doing it. You start doing anything good, people will come and join you. Like I forgot the guy's name who started cleaning up Juhu Beach. Those who are not in Mumbai may not know this, but Juhu Beach was really stinky, dirty, horrible, horrible. Couldn't go there half the time. Now one guy said, okay, let me start cleaning. Can you imagine? Like thousands of people are landing up at Juhu Beach and wrecking it. One guy is trying to clean it. And now the beach is clean. Incredible, no? I would think, what is this one man going to do? And yet, it's clean now. Everybody joined in. It's become a big movement and all sorts of things. So, help comes from unexpected sources. As frequently said, find purpose, means will follow. Find that purpose. Be clear about that purpose. And means will follow. There is only one cause of sorrow, and that is want. However, it is a fact of life that we have wants. How can we be unselfish when we want something and are deprived? Many people have this objection. Okay, all you rich people, you go be unselfish. तुमने तो कम पैसे कमा लिए हैं, अब जाओ जो देना है दे दो. But I have my needs. So you rich people, you can go and donate your money. First you earn so much, now you can donate. But I have my needs. I cannot start donating. I cannot start helping. I have my family to look after. This is how people think about unselfishness. They say, how? How can I be unselfish? I still have my needs, my wants. I am still deprived. Who am I going to help? A mother is very agitated because her son is not studying. It is causing her grief and pain. She has a want. She believes her want is justified. Now what? You see this? I mean, deprivation. Deprivation doesn't have to be monetary. Okay? I want my child to study. He's not studying. Now what? Here is where the power of unselfishness comes into play. Here is where, can she fulfill her desires by allowing her son to fulfill his? Can she put aside what she wants, find out what the son wants, and show how to get that by studying? You tune into the other person. It's not, I want my son to study, your son will never study. The attitude always has to be, what would you like? And then you can say, okay, you can get that if you study. I want you to study. You must study. You're being very bad by not studying. He's not studying. None of this is going to work. A person does not have a job. She is frustrated because of the lack of financial security. How can such a person be unselfish? Imagine a girl is hunting for a job. She can't find anything. And now, where is she going to think of unselfishness? How can such a person be unselfish? It is just at these times that one can find the maximum solace in unselfishness. Look around. What do those around need? Are others in the same predicament? Like, many uh, older people nowadays in their 50s. 50s also become older nowadays, but in their 50s or 60s, 70s, 80s, all of it. They can't find work. They want to work, but they can't find work. Now, there are so many people like that. So, if one of them says, okay, look, I can't find work, others can't find work, how can we all get together and do something by which we all have work? Everybody will have work. So, another beautiful story I heard from somebody, which luckily came at the time this was being written. So, it is, how can such a person be unselfish? It is just in these times that one can find the maximum solace in unselfishness. Look around. What do those around need? Are others in the same predicament? How can we help? A lady arrived in India after partition. I believe this is a true story. I mean, I have not verified it, but I was told. A lady arrived in India after partition. I hope you understand what that sentence means. Okay, the youngsters and maybe Wendy won't understand what the sentence means. Wendy, in partition was this bloody partition in India. I mean, was the most horrible thing that has happened here. You're aware of that. Bhavna, you're also aware of how horrible a partition was. These youngsters may or may not know. So it was the worst time. In fact, I mean, people just left everything in Pakistan, in divided Punjab, just walked out with nothing. No matter how wealthy, how rich, how educated, their life had gone to zero. Not only their life had gone to zero in terms of its financial security and all, half the time their relations were killed. So it's just a horrible time. So this one sentence, a lady arrived in India after partition. Her family had all been killed in the riots, and she and her young son arrived with a heavy heart at the railway station. A new place, nowhere to go, and all her earthly possessions in one bundle under her arm. Biding time at the station, hoping for some succor, unsure of the next steps, she and her child felt the pangs of hunger and thirst. There weren't many facilities then. In that sea of people, many lost and inconsolable, she couldn't find much. Nobody could find anything. People around were in the same predicament. She decided to make tea for these weary and lost people. Believe it or not, a tiny makeshift tea stall eventually became a famous restaurant. All because she could identify with the needs around her and thereby did what she could. Her hastily gathered tea powder, milk, and sugar were meant to fulfill a need and help the situation. Focus on your wants and you have a problem. Focus on the wants of others and you have a solution. When the attention thus is on helping and serving, one develops initiative. One ceases to wait around for a deliverer, but indeed becomes the deliverer. Look at the world around you. Do you see examples of this concept? Do you? Can you give me any examples that you have seen of this concept? Do you know any example? But this was a very good example that I was told of. Sarthak. I come from such a family from East Pakistan, where my great grandmother and a widow revived the entire family single-handedly. Yes, Shabroni, how these people have worked. Work means served. So once you get it, at least in terms of knowledge, then hopefully you will see it all around. And hopefully you will then be able to implement it in life and see the difference. You'll be amazed. It's the most shocking and amazing thing. It's an open secret that's in front of everybody's eyes, but we don't seem to see it. And if you claim, no, I am unselfish, I do for everybody, please realize that that's not true. Everybody believes that we are unselfish. But whatever is our level of unselfishness is our, can anybody fill in the blanks? Whatever is our level of unselfishness is our level of dash. One word answer.
Growth.
Okay, whatever is our level of unselfishness is our level of dash.
Happiness.
Okay. You are not wrong.
Desirelessness.
Okay, you all are not wrong. All of you all are not wrong, but you have to be in context, right, of what we are talking about.
Servant oriented. Service oriented, sorry.
Whatever is our level of unselfishness is our level of dash.
Selfishness.
Very good, Tatna. Excellent. The only one who's paying attention. Excellent. All of y'all are telling us what you have learned elsewhere. What are we talking about now? We're talking about how we believe ourselves to be unselfish, but that is not true. Whatever is your level of unselfishness is your level of
Selfishness.
selfishness. Just because you're at that level doesn't make it unselfish. It becomes unselfish when you're stretching to something higher. Otherwise, you're simply relaxing in the person you are. How is that helping?
Jankiji, I was about to say limitation.
Very good. Yes, limitation also is very good.
Mm.
But
I was gonna
okay,
say
but
comfort.
selfishness means limitation in what? In your there's always a limitation in your unselfishness, and that's what we have to break.
There's always a ceiling which you have to transcend.
Yeah. Bharat, but it's your natural state. Why selfishness? Because your natural state, Bharat, is selfishness. Whatever you do naturally is selfish. Unselfish requires fill in the blanks. Unselfishness requires
Effort.
Effort.
it must hurt. It must pinch. It must make you think, मैं ही एक पागल हूँ ये सब करने के लिए. I'm the only idiot who's supposed to do this. It must make your mind say, what nonsense. Unless that pinch is there, there's no growth. Like in anything, right? I love that pinch. I'm doing a little bit better than what I can very naturally do. And you keep doing that all the way to realization, till you can break the barriers that have been put around. Like barrier all around. Such limitation, closed, congealed. You're a being of the sky. You're not meant to live in some limited, restricted prison. The prison walls are only the selfishness. How to break that? Somehow you have to break it. Yes, Sarthak.
Ma'am, as a literature teacher, you don't feel weird saying how much unselfish you are, that much selfish you are. Ma'am, they are anonyms. You're saying like both are equal.
Because I'm not a literature teacher, I am a philosophy teacher. Philosophy teachers do such things. Prakash's iPhone. Can anybody 100% selfishness? Can anybody be 100% selfishness? No. Can anybody be 100% unselfishness? Only a self-realized person, in which case he will not be unselfish, but he will be selfless. Selfless means the small self is simply not there. It never occurs to him, how does this impact me? This thought never occurs to him. My comfort, my convenience, my money, my family, my country, my species. All these thoughts don't occur to him. He can simply do what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, how it needs to be done, no strings attached, no limitation, no concrete walls around him beyond which he cannot see. So, you stop looking for a deliverer, but indeed become the deliverer. Why are you looking? Why is humanity saying, oh, Kalki Avatar will come and save us? What Kalki Avatar will come? You are Kalki Avatar. Just wake up. Nobody is coming here to save you. You save yourself, and in the bargain, whole world will be saved. When one works thus with initiative, work is not exhausting or stressful, but instead the joy of life, a raison d'etre. One does not get tired of the work, get burnt out, or seek early retirement. Thus, it not only solves problems, but also prevents many of them. You know, people are running away from work. Why are you running away from Amrit? What is the point of running from Amrit? What is the point of running from the nectar of life? Like unselfishness, which is going to give you everything that you possibly could ask for. You're running away from that. You can say, no, I'm very unselfish, but I don't want to work. Doesn't work like that, unfortunately. If you're unselfish, you will have to serve. So if you really have a vision in your work, there is no question of being burnt out. The only reason we get burnt out is the vision is no longer a vision. You can get tired of the work. So you can solve problems. You can also prevent problems. Where you create problems. Most of our problems are self-created. I don't know if you realize that. 90% of the problems we meet are self-created. If I was taking a really Vedantic stance, I would say all our problems are self-created. But chalo now, people like Sarthak will put up 2 hands if I say that. So I will say, okay, 90%. Chalo. Little compromise we will. No, but things come to us. Things come to us and disturb us. Only for one reason. Anything in the world coming to you is a disturbance to you. Only for one reason. There's no other reason. If you have not identified with your body, mind, intellect so much, how on earth can any circumstance disturb it? How is it possible? There is no cause, there is no effect. So don't say, oh, no, I'm okay. But all these circumstances come to me. How can a circumstance come to you that disturbs you? Only if you are identified with your body can heat or cold disturb you. Only if you are identified with your mind can love and not love disturb you. Only if you are identified with your intellect can views and opinions and reputation disturb you. Otherwise, how can it? It has no power of its own. The sense object has no power. It can give you neither joy nor sorrow. And yet you claim it does. It can't be done. It has no power. Take it or leave it. Believe me or don't believe me. The truth will stay the same. Truth ain't changing. There is no circumstance because of which I'm upset. I am upset because
I have identified with my body, mind, and intellect.
I have identified with my body, mind, and intellect. And if I have to break this identification, I need to become
Unselfish.
believe it. I feel so happy. At least somebody is listening. Occasionally, if somebody listens to the class, I feel very thrilled with life. Somebody is listening. Now I say, oh no, what will unselfish do? What will unselfishness do? It will break this nonsense of affectation in my life. Yes, Sarth.
मैम लास्ट पेज में जो फर्स्ट लाइन है, a person does not have a job, she is frustrated because of lack of financial security. Then in case a person is wanting, then I can understand unselfishness can give them mental peace and all, I understand that, but won't practicing unselfishness be difficult at that time for them if they have not been practicing it from before, because they are wanting at that time?
Yeah, but that's the only way to get out of this problem. I mean, you can't say it's difficult without doing something. It's like saying, here's a man in debt. We are telling him to save. Your argument is, but he's never saved in the past, so it will be difficult for him. Yes, it will be. So, मैं क्या करूं? If you haven't developed um, that ability to do a certain thing, then when you start it, it will be difficult. But then as you keep doing it, it will become easy. That's
Ma'am, my
all.
point is it will be extra difficult at that time when he's in debt. He will be wanting to earn more and more money that time. Then he will not be that at that time, like becoming unselfish will be more difficult than, let's say, at a previous time when he was not in debt.
Well, he has no way out but to do it. Like saying that, okay, now I have really wrecked my health. Now it's even more difficult for me to go for a walk. But well, we have to start. What can I do? The facts are not going to change. This is it. If you can't execute, you sink in that sinkhole and die. But if you can execute, no matter how bad it is, you will pull yourself out of it. If you say, no, it's too difficult, then tomorrow, main kya karu? The fact will not change. You can debate the fact. Is it a fact or not? That you can debate. But you say, no, it's too difficult for me. तो रोते रहो, मैं क्या करूं?
But it's a good question, ma'am. आप ही की book में लिखा हुआ है. How can we be unselfish when we want something and are deprived?
The answer is given, no. When you are feeling deprived, find out who else is feeling deprived. Okay, I'll tell you the other day. We went somewhere. Massive traffic jam. Traffic jam means not on the road, just to enter the parking lot. So we stood there for a good 15-20 minutes. You know what happened? Then Jayashree and I, we got out of the car. Okay, and all our other Rati Maharatis were sitting over there. They didn't know what are we going to go out and do. So we got out of the car. We also didn't know what to do. We didn't know what the situation was. Why can't we enter the car park? Turns out that there's a block. Nobody can enter. So what we did is we made some of the cars turn in the other direction. It was a very stupidly organized thing. The exit and the entry were blocking each other. So we made all the people who were entering, we somehow convinced them. We couldn't convince everybody, but we convinced about 95% of them to U-turn. Okay, and we made everybody take a U-turn in a certain way so that the guys who had to go at the exit, we cleared that place in 5 minutes. And neither she nor I know driving. Neither she nor I know anything about traffic management. Neither does she nor I know anything about how do you handle this traffic jam. But every single person stayed in that car, locked into that position. And where we were making them turn was a little small space. Where is Mahesh? Mahesh is witness. He can. And we got everybody out of there in 5 minutes. It just took us a little time to convince guy one. So I told him, you come out of the car and you see what I'm saying. And if you think that's correct, then you do this turn. Because guy one was very important. And like, it's very, very, very interesting in this world. If you can get guy number one to do it, तो सब बाकी के करेंगे. All the others are going to follow. So we got him. And he had a massive car and the place was very small. We should have recorded it so that you would believe me. What were we doing? We were trying to solve our problem. We could not get in and go wherever it is we wanted to go. But the moment you start thinking about, this is not my problem alone. This is everybody's problem. Once I threw a fit at the airport. Mile-long queue for no rhyme or reason. I got the whole place involved. I called the airport manager. I called everybody. All the lines, fun. Went. Now, what the hell is all this nonsense? We're not entering the airport. We're leaving the airport. You have a problem. Please understand. Everybody else has a problem. You hear this every time you come for real world lectures. Do you all remember real world lectures? Anything that you're always told? In our class, real world. If you cannot hear, do not keep quiet. Raise your hand and say so. Because if you can't hear, maybe others can't hear. You're not disturbing them, you're helping them. If you're having a hearing problem, say so. So the moment you recognize that it's not your problem, it's everybody's problem, or it's a group's problem, you solve the problem. Because it's not about me. We can sit in the car and grumble and say, oh, these people are so inefficient, which they are. We can say, oh, it's a bad day for us, which it is. We can say so many things. Or you can get out of the car, see what the cause is, and help everybody sort it out. And use whatever method and means that you're thing. So people are very frightened to go anywhere with me because they're never sure what I might do. They're like, okay, I hope all goes well today. Everybody gets, like intimidated. Why are you intimidated? Because everyone is suffering. Can you not help everybody? So the worse the situation you're in, the more this can be useful to you. And if you've understood this thing, you will use it in your life all the time. And you will find your problems disappear like this. Karthik, when you get married and you and your wife are having a fight, sit her down and ask her, what do you want? I want an iron, and I don't. What would you like? Now, just because she says, I want X, doesn't mean you have to go mad and give it. Then you have to think, how much of that request can I accommodate? You will have a perfect relationship. Every time there's a problem, your biggest tool is how unselfish can you be? It's your biggest tool. You've got to get this in your head. If you get it in your head, you will understand that I am using Brahmastra on an ant. What I really should be doing is not using it to solve my problems, but
Use it to solve the bigger problems.
okay,
To raise myself.
you all are not wrong. If you
Ma'am, can you
really-
repeat the exact phrasing?
You have to be listening in the first place, not switch off halfway.
No, मैम सुन रहा था मैं, but exact answer देना है ना.
So, if you realize the power of this tool to solve your problems, you will slowly realize that you're taking Brahmastra, a nuclear weapon, to an ant. What you really should be using unselfishness for is to,
Self-realization.
okay, good answer. That's true. Can't deny that. But just in the context of the talk,
Help others rather than helping ourselves.
Not getting into the problem.
very good. Preventing problems. If in the first place you've been unselfish, you don't have to wait for a problem to descend on you to become unselfish. Be unselfish now, for heaven's sake, so that you don't have a problem. Do it now, do it today. Don't say, yeah, that's a good idea. When I meet a problem next, I will be unselfish. If you currently have a problem, use the tool. If you don't currently have the problem, use the tool. Don't wait. Today, now is the day to break through my internal barriers. Yes, she has. Yes, Sarthak. Okay, chalo. Now, can we continue to the next outcome of unselfishness? Number 5. The 5th outcome of unselfishness. Instant happiness. Unselfishness is usually considered to be only long-term happiness. This is not entirely true. When we do something worthy, we feel good. It is the real good life. Okay, so everybody wants the good life. All calendars and nonsensical parties and all. Good life, good life. What good life is there? The real good life is to be unselfish. The kind of bliss and pleasure and happiness you get out of it, you're not going to get out of anything else. With the possible exception of morning study. But you're going to tap into that pleasure until you become unselfish. When we do something worthy, we feel good. It's the real good life. Consider the time you did something for someone. Did you not feel nice? Unselfishness goes with our brain. Altruism is so natural that it is immediately rewarding. When the mind frees itself from its preoccupation and can think of something beyond, it finds instant rest and comfort. Every time you will be unselfish, you will get that pleasure. Yes, Aditi.
Hari Om Janki ji, does this also may give rise to a hint of benevolent ego?
Which one?
That when you get this instant happiness when you do something unselfish for someone else. So how do you really get that and check in case if that ever happens?
Move on to the next unselfish action. It's only when you stay there and sort of, what should I say, cut you. That's when the problem starts.
But in that moment, you're anyways feeling good about it. So is that okay if you feel good about it? And it's still, it's not benevolent ego at that point. Only when you further
But
constantly, linger on it. Okay, get it. Thank you.
you try to extract more juice out of it.
Okay.
So you tell others also. You do stuff with it. Not just, I'm happy, finished, end the story. I mean, not end the story, but okay, this is great. Move on.
So maybe at some point later, maybe after a day or 2 or 5, if it just occurs to you, that incident, then again, that's a benevolent ego.
You can't really put it like that. If there's some good reason why it has occurred to you, you're using it for further analysis, whatever. There's some point in that. It's okay. It's only when you're unnecessarily reveling in it that's a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Right. So I thought somebody's going to, yes, Bharat.
So how does the strengthening of an unselfish desire work? I mean, you will be lingering on to it, and wouldn't that in fact help strengthen the unselfishness?
Yes, but at the time where you're struggling to become unselfish, you are not yet unselfish, right? So therefore, you're not really gaining that joy. You are still struggling a bit. I mean, how do you explain this? In your field, Bharat, you will most easily understand. There is some amount of effort when you take on more weight, and there is some pleasure in having taken on that additional weight, but there's also some discomfort in it. So you are going to struggle with that discomfort until that pleasure becomes only pleasure. And then once it becomes only pleasure, then you have to do this again. So yes, you're lingering in it means you're thinking of it. Lingering is just the mind going there. When you're thinking about it with your intellect, you don't really use the word lingering. You're doing repetition of thoughts to strengthen a concept. Okay.
So if the intellect is thinking about it, the desire would still get strengthened, right?
Yeah, at that stage, it's not yet a desire. At that stage, it is you trying to inculcate that desire. When that intellect has seen through it completely, then the mind will want it. When the mind wants it, you of course cruise with that for a little bit and then you move to the next. It's like when you finally achieve lifting a weight, you don't go to the next one immediately, right? You do that for some time and then you go to the next.
Sorry, just struggling with this. If the intellect has identified something which is noble, why shouldn't it allow the mind to linger onto it? And maybe to help develop that desire.
The mind doesn't want to at the moment. see, there are 3 stages, right? There is, you're at level A. From level A, you want to go to level C. Between level A and level C, you have level B. Right? So what is level A? Level A is you're gaining knowledge about something. You are at a certain level and you're gaining knowledge about it. Now, even as you do your own sadhana, you'll find it's not, Acha, okay, I heard that idea. You heard unselfishness millions of times. So you heard the idea. And then slowly, as you keep delving into knowledge and you begin to understand it little bit more, the mind is also following little. Right? It's not lingering because it's not a full-fledged desire. The intellect is working with the knowledge. And then once the intellect is working and comes to level C, that it's got it now. This is when the mind will develop the desire. Now it's a full-blown desire. Does that help?
Okay, so at level C, then it's already formed into a desire. That's no point lingering onto it, and moving on to the other thing wouldn't be the sensible thing.
Yeah. Then now more knowledge. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Which, I mean, forget A, B, and C levels, but even in your own sadhana, you would have seen that there were concepts you heard of, you've been hearing them for some time, you don't really find anything. I mean, you're okay with them, you're not rejecting them. If your mind rejects it, then you won't be influenced. But it's okay, it didn't really, do so much for you. And then over a period of time, that concept starts becoming more interesting. Here's your mind, your intellect is understanding more, your mind is getting involved slowly. It's not going to linger at this stage because doesn't really have a desire. It's okay, nice, very nice. Well, it's like that kind of thing. Then the intellect, one day the penny drops, you get it. Oh my gosh, really? I mean, I've been hearing this for years and just suddenly understood it. Now that's that stage where because the intellect has grasped this, the mind will move there. Which you will see in your normal, you will experience this. Not you will, you have experienced this. All of you, every time you learn something, how initially it was maybe slightly boring. Oh, this topic, I know it. Boring. And then slowly, as comprehension goes, what happened. So please remember, your Vedanta studies is actually an explanation of the experiences that you're going through. It's not just something about the distant future, but every bit of it is something that you've already experienced. And the reason you've already experienced it is because it's a sort of law in this world. Which law?
That things that happened in the past will happen again and again and again.
There's no
To
such law.
register what you have desire for, you will only register.
What is the connection with this? Why is it that you will that you have already experienced the laws? You're not being told of something that you have not experienced. You've experienced almost every law that we speak about. And why is that? That is also based on a certain principle or law, which is
Law of life.
law of life. Yes, but which one?
Is there anything called a law of repetition?
Okay. I mean, if I were to give a hint, I would give that as a hint. But what's the thing? What's the law? Where do you see repetition, patterns? Come on.
In cases of
Nature.
cycles.
Law of causation.
Law of causation is everything. But where is this repetition, pattern? Deepraj, you're supposed to know it.
Nature.
You know it. What's
No, I mean, the question is, why is it that we have experienced all the laws?
No, not why is it that we have experienced the laws. You have already experienced the laws of Vedanta. It's not just something of the distant future. So now, why are we saying that you've already experienced these laws? Because they have talked about unselfishness and sort of people we are not already. So how do we say this?
Because of the law of destiny.
No.
Law of karma, yeah. So maybe
Digested knowledge.
Prarabdha.
Law. Which is the law? Okay, I'm going to tell you. Because you're like now just hitting all over the place. Yatha pinda tatha brahmand. As the microcosm, so the macrocosm. So all the principles of Vedanta are true from the beginning of the journey to the end of the journey. That you don't have to function on likes and dislikes, that you have to function on the intellect. From day one, you start that, and and the last thing you do before realization is still that. You're doing the same thing. You've actually experienced everything. That you have to break every little habit and replace it with a better habit. You've already done that millions of times. You've already grown from the what should I say, from the baby state to the teenage state to the adult state. You've already experienced all this. That is why Vedanta feels so close, right? Because it's an explanation of things that we have already been through and projected into the future. So, based on that, you know that that's why you recognize it, right? When you hear Vedantic laws, don't you feel like, yes, I recognize this? Did you feel like I'm learning or do you feel like I'm recognizing?
Recognition.
You feel like you're recognizing it. You feel like, yeah, I mean, like, I could have thought of this on my own. So why didn't I? Because it is your experience. I mean, at least when you understand it correctly, you realize, oh, this is my experience. Like, what is renunciation? When you take up the higher, the lower falls. So far, haven't you practiced renunciation? You took up teenage desires, childhood desires fell off. You took up adult desires, teenage desires fell off. You're recognizing that this is true because you already experienced.
Janki, in the law of macrocosm and macrocosm, what is the microcosm and what is the macrocosm?
In little ways, as you have done it so far, in the big ways, it's going to be the same thing. Like a child has to follow his intellect and study, right? Or not play with his toys too much. Then in whatever, the teenager also, same rule it is, follow your intellect. Don't get too distracted by all the teenage distractions. And adult also, same thing. Then spiritual path also, same thing. So, yatha pinda, tatha brahmanda. Everything is the cycle, the repetition, the patterns, the same principle.
Okay, so the same principles that will get you from class 1 to class 2 is the same principle that will get you from class 2 to class 3.
And from selfishness to unselfishness.
Ma'am, but the transition from, let's say, childhood to teenage desires seems very smooth or very natural. But in this case, when we reach adulthood, becoming unselfish seems like a sort of effort that you have to put in, whereas a child naturally comes to puberty and their desires naturally change.
Right.
So
Because
isn't that a
nature
bit?
is doing it for you there, here you will have to do it yourself.
But this is then microcosm will be different, a bit different than macrocosm.
No, the pattern of how that growth is taking place, that is repeated. That's always the same thing. No? The atoms are moving around the nucleus. The planets are moving around the sun. The sun is moving around the center of the galaxy. The galaxy is moving around, whatever. Whole thing goes on and on and on infinitely. And I say, no, but this is moving at this pace, that is. The repetitive patterns is what this principle talks about. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Can we say that pattern is common from a microcosm to macrocosm?
Yes.
Is it so?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so Bharat has something for us. Go ahead.
Yes, Hari Om everyone. Reminder, from 26th to 30th November in Mumbai, we'll be having the lecture series by Janki ji. Anyone in Mumbai, please come, join, participate, help us. And if you can't make it, please share the information with people you know in Mumbai. And also note that there won't be classes from 26th to 30th. Thank you.
If you all want to do group discussion, please go ahead. How many people want to do group discussion other than Deep Raj? Please raise your hands. Come on, show Deep Raj some love. Because he is very, very happy to lead the discussion group. But you all are not being very friendly with him. Please do group discussion. Don't behave like, oh, chutti. No chutti. Kaam karo. Unless you all discuss and you sort of fight with it. I mean, don't fight with others, fight with the concept. That knowledge is not going to become crystal clear. It's not going to.
Ma'am, I'm happy to do it with Deepraj Bhaiya, but if it's 2, 3, 4, 5 people, then it becomes a bit of a herd. Then, and 2 people, it's a quality discussion.
No. 5 people are there to tell you both if that you all are getting involved, and let's get on to the next point. So 5
Yeah, isn't this?
people.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't discussion going to breed ego?
Discussion breeds ego? No, discussion removes ego. When I go there to lecture, that breeds ego. When I go there to learn, to discuss, to open my mind out to other concepts, to be able to say that, look, you're off the point now, come back. With nothing against you, but I'm just focusing on what we're doing here.
Got it.
All these qualities put together make us clear thinkers.
Got it. Thanks.
Okay, so Deepraj, you think you will take the GD next time?
I mean, if there's more than one person, yes.
Taruna is going to be there. Prashant?
Yeah, yes, definitely.
There, you got more than one.
Correct.
Great.
Ash's iPhone also. What about you, Wendy, Aditi, Bhavna, Elsie?
I can speak for the Friday afternoon sessions, but the others are, I'm in bed at that hour for the other.
Yes. Friday, today's one.
Today's one, yeah.
Janki ji, this time I am not able to join. Otherwise, I am keen to join GD. This particular time is not suitable.
Oh, okay, fine.
Janki wedding, 2 weddings to attend, morning functions out of town. Otherwise, I would have come even for the yagna. So it's absolutely my loss.
Okay. Hello. Whoever can come, please do come and attend GD. And Deepraj will explain the rules to you.
Also, we have a separate GD group as well. If anybody wants to join, they can contact me.
Okay. All right. So that's it for today. Hari Om.
Hari Om,
Om,
Janki.
Hari Om, Jackie G. Thank you, everyone.
Hari Om Janki ji, thank you.
Hari Om.